Professor Jim Schultz here from my Finance 680 students. I wanted to go ahead and get a video done on a Chapter 8 problem, and I thought number 15 would be a good problem to go through. It was either going to be 15 or 17, and we spend a lot of time in class working through those non-constant growth problems, and so I didn't want to do 17. I wanted to do number 15 because I think number 15, it's a fairly simple problem once you understand how to set it up correctly. And so taking a look at number 15, you've got this young startup company that's not going to pay any dividends for 9 years, and then 10 years from now it's going to pay $12. And so there you see my timeline here that shows 1 through 9 is going to be 0, and then in the 10th year it's going to be 12. And then also the problem tells you that once it begins paying this dividend, that dividend is going to grow at a constant rate of 5%. And so the key here is you could essentially follow those 5 steps we put up, and then you would see that your first 2 steps are just going to be zeros, and you're essentially going to be skipping to the 3rd step because you don't have anything happening here. And that would of course work for any non-constant growth problem. Those 5 steps are going to work for you, obviously, as long as you apply them correctly. So for this problem, we have dividend 10, and the 10th period is going to be, I guess technically my dashed line should be over 9, not over 10, to stay consistent with the way I present these kind of things in class. And so you're looking for P9 because you know that after the 9th period, that's when the constant growth commences. And so finding P9, you use the dividend 10 that you're given, you also use the required return and the growth rate that you're given, and then you get this $141 and almost 18 cents. And then what you need to do is you need to understand, obviously, that this number, if we were going to put it on the timeline, would go right here. It would go at the 9th tick mark, right? So I've got to discount this guy back to present value. So scrolling down, you've got to find the present value of P9, right? And you got to bring this guy back 9 periods. So it becomes the future value divided by, obviously, your 1 plus I raised to the n. And this is going to be 1 plus, technically 1 plus r. When we're dealing with required returns, we usually write this as r. So that's going to be 1.135 raised to the 9th power. And so you get a stock price today of $45.16. So this is how you solve number 15 in Chapter 8.